Okay, so here's a little video for some of you guys who might have to, at one point in your life, deal with a set of badging that may have came off your car, or maybe you just gave your car a fresh paint job and you need to put your badging back on the car. Well, very straightforward. What we're dealing with here is a freshly painted vehicle. Now I'm going to want to go ahead and install my my emblem here. Actually, it says Caprice right along here. I want to apply that emblem back on the vehicle. The only problem is that I freshly compounded this entire vehicle. You can tell I went with it with a very heavy cut. So anyway, there is actually a bit of smear marks on here too. There's a slight film on it. But like I say, when you're freshly painting a vehicle and you are dealing with the clear coat aspect of it and the final buffing and all that stuff, you're going to be dealing with a lot of polishes and compounds and whatnot. So when the time comes that you want to put the badging back on the vehicle, you can't really just shove the badging on the vehicle and just say, okay, well, that's the end of it. You really should prep it first. So for example, what we got here is the badge that would have went here. You can actually tell remnants of where it actually sat, which is good. It's beneficial to you that if you are really precise and you really want to know where it went. Well, we can't really just stick that on just yet. We got to prep it first. So in this bottle here is just wax and grease remover. I'm going to spray the panel, just a very fine mist. And I'm just going to take a piece of paper towel and wipe the area where I'm going to apply my badge. I want this area clean because it is very important that we don't just stick this on, well, freshly polished steel, freshly painted, freshly polished paint. We can't do that. It won't stick very well, and if it does, it won't stay very long or won't withstand speeds of 70 miles an hour. So what I like to do is just to get it nice and cleaned up with wax and grease remover, and pinpoint where we're actually going to stick it. Then I go ahead and get this. Okay, this is weather strip adhesive. 80010 is the part number. It's by 3M. It comes in a tube, roughly 10 bucks. So this is what it is. It is mostly meant for, well, of course, weather stripping. Alright, so it will keep weather stripping in its place, but if you notice that you take off your badging, you'll also notice that it's this black stuff that actually holds it on before you actually took it off, of course. It's this black gooey stuff that actually is applied to the back of this from factory that actually keeps it on. It's like kind of like double-sided tape. Well, this stuff here is perfect for sticking this onto this. But you have to make sure that it is absolutely clean. So even this surface here, we want to make sure we take our wax and grease remover and clean it. Now, if there is loads of guck stuck to it, this isn't so bad. We can actually apply a thin bead right across every letter. So I mean, I can take this tube, for example, I can take the cap off and just slowly squeeze out. You want to go slow with this because the thing is that this nozzle, if I take the tip off, you'll notice that it's very wide, so it's going to come out fairly thick. Actually, this nozzle's not bad, but it's still fairly thick compared to a lot of other ones. So you're going to want to take your time. You're going to simply take your tube, and you're just gonna, actually this stuff is yellow, go figure that one. You change the color of this stuff. So you're gonna want to go around it. It's actually the same color as contact cement, go figure. And just go around the whole thing like this, and go around every letter. Go slow because you don't want to make a mess. I mean, it is, well, exactly kind of like contact cement. So go slow because you will see, imperfections if you screw up. So I'm going to go ahead and just lather this on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and stick it on my panel. I'll show you guys that. Okay, so I stuck it it's on there. Don't apply too much pressure. Don't actually apply a tremendous amount of pressure, because what it'll do is, well, you guys should know this, it'll just squeeze all the solution out all over the place, and it'll just make a god-awful mess. So just keep it level. If you notice that it is kind of, you know, not perfect, if it's riding too high or too low or whatever, you can kind of just turn it if you have to. Don't, you know, try and get it right the first time and just make small, tiny adjustments, because if you make one large adjustment, it's going to smear. So I'm just going to apply light pressure, and you can tell, like, I mean, like, we have little cobwebs, like there's a cobweb there. I mean, stuff like that can be addressed later. There's a bit of an issue here, so it was a little heavy here. You want to avoid that. See, this is my screw up, and it's my car, so I'm the one who has to look at it. You know, if you're totally fussy where you don't want to see stuff like that, then, you know, try and put down as very light of a coat of the sealant stuff as much as possible. Because, like I say, it is a strong adhesive. You don't need a tremendous amount of it. See, I just went a little crazy with it. But, like I say, I can clean that up after. So, light pressure. Try, you know, if you're dealing with a large badge like this, maybe just kind of try and, you know, 4 fingers kind of spread out so that it has even amount of pressure all over. So within 60 seconds it'll stay on the vehicle. Take a walk back, make sure it's where you want it. That looks fairly level. I take a bit of a ride over here. If you're really a perfectionist, you're going to want to make sure that it is, well, you know, not riding high or low. You know, it actually doesn't seem, kind of looks like it's riding high toward the right hand side if you kind of take note. But you know what? Actually, you know what? That's fairly good, just like that. So, just leave it like that for a while. Don't try and maneuver anything at this point. So, you know, you want to get this done within the first 60 seconds. If you got to make adjustments, you're going to want to do them, you know, within the 60 seconds. This isn't like Mar glass or body filler. You know, you guys can, you know, make small increments, and you don't have to rush it either. But once you have it applied to the steel, you want to hold it there and make sure it is where you want it. You don't want to start farting around with it, because if you have to take this back off, you're going to have to make sure that it is perfectly clean in behind there, and you're going to have bits of residue. So you want to make sure, like, you try and get it perfect on the first attempt, and then scan the area from all sides, all corners. You know what I mean? Like, you know, take a gander back. You know, take a look from all angles, because you're the one who's going to have to look at this, and if you screw it up, well, you know, you're the one who's going to be kicking yourself in the keister. So I'm quite happy with that. Anyway. So they really actually, I didn't know this. They actually, this part number is still the same, 80010. This is stuff I've always used for a long time. And it used to come out as a very thick black substance. For some reason now, I don't know, it looks like contact cement. Actually, it smells like contact cement. So I don't know, I guess they changed their solution. It still works the same. It still works for weather stripping, and it's perfect for badging. It will hold anything, emblems, you know, small things like this. You know, it works great for this. So if you just lost a little badge off your car, or even trim molding, you know how a lot of people, or even maybe your friends, have told you over the years that, you know, your molding is falling off, or maybe it just fell off together, or your friend ripped it off. Did a lot of people tell you maybe double-sided tape? Don't waste your money on that. Go out and get yourself this stuff. It works fantastic for stuff like that. You just take your trim molding, like this over here, and all you do is, you know, like, this is straightforward. You see this stuff on your car. Not in that bad a condition, of course. But you know what I mean? Like, you got double-sided tape here. Well, just take this and just, you know, put a nice bead along here. And what I like to do with something like this, if it's that wide, just go ahead and take yourself a small, fine paintbrush, you know, about that wide, and just basically brush stroke it on. Then apply it on your vehicle. Like, it's fantastic. Don't waste your money and time with double-sided tape. I mean, that's like putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound. I mean, literally, it's going to last for 5 minutes and then it's going to fall off. And then you're going to be screaming. Why waste the time? So, definitely use this stuff. It's by 3M. It's mainly for weather stripping. But I mean, it works great for badging as well. And if you apply it properly, it'll look fantastic and it'll stay on the car for years, even after it's gone to the junkyard. So, keep that in mind. We'll catch you here next weekend. Don't party too hard. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you later.